Hello guys, today we're going to talk about Indestructible by Disturbed. But first, like I said in the last video, I didn't go over the Van Halen Best of CD when I did that episode, so I'm going to do it quickly here, not the CD, the case. So basically it's a classic black and gold. This thing has definitely aged, because you can see the cracks. I don't remember where I got this. It's gold tile on the back. Oh yeah, the guitar right there, when he switched to the PV guitars, or something like that. You got the smoke right here, you got all that. Oh, I forgot about this. They have all the album covers and the songs associated with them on here. Oh no, not songs associated with them. It's like all the songs on them. Like all the songs on them. It's kind of I forgot they did that. And they have the whole thing right here, the sets, and you have music credits for eras, and just the title track again, the tracks again. Yeah, this is actually very cool. I like the way they did that. Yeah, it's a really good, well done. It's simple, but it has nice details. It goes over quite a bit. It's a very good thing of it. Kind of wish they did a volume 2. But oh well. Anyway, to the album we're talking about today. We're gonna talk about Indestructible by Disturbed. Of course, I'll go over all of that stuff in a little bit. But first, a little bit about the album here. So Indestructible, it came out in 2008, 13 years ago, if you can believe that. Let's see. It is 49 minutes, 11 seconds long. It's from Reprise Records. The producer was Dan Dunnigan, who was the lead guitarist of Disturbed. So, not much. When the producer of the album themselves are a member of the band, there's not really much background to go on them, because that's what they're known for, is that band. So, that's who it is. Forgot Perfect Insanity was a single. That must have come out. The Night came out in 2009. Inside the Fire, Indestructible. Perfect Insanity came out before then. It's weird, because Perfect Insanity, I don't really hear about that song as much. Let's see. And, it was the first self-produced effort by the band, which is interesting. Let's see. There's some deluxe stuff and all that. Where's the group stuff? All right. So David Drayman did lead vocals. Dan Dunnigan did lead and rhythm guitars. John Moyer did bass and backing vocals. Mike Wengren did the drums. And then you got a bunch of production. DVD making of. And yeah, I think that covers everything. And yeah, so, and of course, AllMusic, AllMusic gave the album 3.5 stars out of 5, and user ratings gave it 4 out of 5 stars, about 400-ish user people. And yeah, basically, and also, of course, let's take a look at this city. Got the awesome cover by their mascot right there. Got the cool fiery back right there. Got the inside liner notes, surprisingly gray and blue style. You got the liner notes in here too. Got more liner notes with all that. You got the 4 members right there with cracked glass. Got a lot more. All these liner notes are just lyrics of the songs, pretty much. Now these are the liner notes. Pretty cool. Standard stuff, but presented really well. Let's go over the songs. Alright, so title track, Indestructible. kick-ass track. Great opening to the album. Played this on Rock Band Track Pack Volume 2 so much. God. So the thing about Disturbed was kind of one of the three current-ish bands I got into, because I was mostly into old stuff when I was in high school. Those were the kind of the three bands. It was Disturbed, Avenged Sevenfold, and Dragon Force. Those were three. Of course, I've overheard stuff from other bands there and there, but those were the main three I really got into. Disturbed, especially Disturbed and Avenged Sevenfold. It was always between those two. In hindsight, the best of the two was probably Avenged Sevenfold because their music was more. It changed up. Disturbed kind of hit a wall at some point. They weren't really quite evolving, but man, when they were on fire, no pun intended. But yeah, Indestructible's great song, kick ass. Inside the Fire, man, I love the use of the guitars and the rhythm and the drums and the riff in this. It's just super good. The arrangement, I will say, Disturbed was always great at arrangements. The way they arranged the guitars and the rhythms was very, very unique. I really digged it. Inside the Fire was like, I especially love at the end where just like, I always like it when songs circle back to a chorus, not a chorus but a verse, because then it just kind of, it just, the way they did in this, it just has a good rhythm when it gets to the end. And it's just really solid, really solid. I just love the rhythm in this song, so good. Deceiver's a solid track. I will say some of the non-single stuff, there's a couple hidden gems, but the non-single stuff is very good, solid, and rhythmic, and definitely stand on their own, but there are songs that might need an extra viewing or two to kind of stick in your head, hearing or two. And Deceiver was very solid, good stuff. The fourth track, The Night. Oh my god, The Night is so cool. This song is an anthem. This is an anthem song. This is a song where you're in a concert, you know, the audience is warm, but also you hear that and you can just picture it in the concert, and the audience is like yeah, this is a great song, great riff. It has a good dark tone to it, and it's great lyrics, great chorus. It's just really good song. And also on a side note, quickly, the songs Perfect Insanity and Divide were actually meant for their first album, but they got delayed to this one. And they weren't previously released. So that, and of course, Perfect Insanity being a single, which is weird because the last track, Facade, sounded more like their first album than those two tracks, but that's just me. But yeah, Perfect Insanity, that's a good one. That was one of the singles. That one does stand out a little bit to me. Definitely, I will say, despite like the uniqueness of Disturbed songs, they blend a little bit. And that's the thing when you're listening to full albums, some tracks are going to blend in a bit, not because they're bad or not that they're unique, but because most albums, if not all, go for a general tone, a general feel and atmosphere that they want to establish. It's kind of like a movie. Like a movie has great scenes, but not every scene you're going to remember like that. You know, it takes repeat viewings to memorize everything. It's kind of like this. But yeah, Perfect Insanity's great, solid track as well. Haunted. This is one of the two underrated tracks. I love Haunted. It's super eerie, and I love the chorus. And it doesn't really have a guitar solo, but it's really, really guitar driven. It just kind of, it's really, it's like it's a song I play for Halloween. I really love it. Enough's good too. That's the next one. Enough's good too. That would definitely. I remember it being pretty catchy. I just listened to the album a bit ago, and that one's good. That one's good. That one's pretty solid. It has a lot of the songs are gonna be executed in all the areas. Really, when it comes to while some songs stick out between others, is really it depends on how they hit you, you know, and it's different for everyone. Oh, the curse hit me good. I love the curse. I think the curse felt a little faster, or maybe the rhythm was a bit faster, or a bit not as like. Because the thing about Disturbed songs and their rhythms, they're very I'm not gonna say like jazz, but it's like if you play the songs on Guitar Hero, you got a lot of extra stuff going on. It's kind of like that. The Curse didn't quite felt like Curse felt more not simplified, but more like clear cut in terms of its arrangements, everything. Torn kind of similar to the Curse, maybe more of a mix in terms of all that. Criminal's the other one. I love Criminal, and basically Criminal is just catchy as hell. From the riffs and everything's just freaking catchy. I'm surprised. And honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't a single. Same thing with Haunted, because both of them are very catchy, especially Criminal. I really love that track. Divide was good too. I'm surprised that Divide and Perfect Insanity were Perfect Insanity. Circling back to that, it wasn't it sounded like they were. It's like they were sounding like they were going for kind of like a ballad ish. Something in the chorus kind of made it feel like pleadful, kind of like a ballad. But it's not a ballad at all. But if Disturbed was going to do a ballad, that's probably the closest you're going to hear from it. But it's not a ballad at all. Divide, it borrows a little bit from it. It definitely has a similar tone. You can tell they were probably from a different certain time. But yeah, that's definitely there. Now Facade's interesting because unlike the other ones, this one I can actually hear the keyboard they use. I couldn't quite hear it in the other tracks. It was more blended in. But I can definitely hear it here, and so that makes me surprised that that wasn't originally for the first one, because it's out of all the tracks, that one sounds most like from their original album, The Sickness. So, but yeah, that's overall the album's fantastic. I love it. It's definitely it's Disturbed's black album in terms of Avenged Sevenfold. Avenged Sevenfold's black album. No, Avenged Sevenfold's white album. It's the equivalent to that. Um, I will say I own all the Disturbed tracks up until Hell. I think that's what it's called, except for Believe. For some reason, I never got Believe, and because I always thought Believe was like when I got Instructible, I thought it was their newest one, but it was actually their second album, which I was always surprised that it was their second album because I barely hear people talk about it. It's usually The Sickness, and then 10,000 Fits, this, and then Asylum for a bit, but no one talks about that album, and I'm gonna review that one at some point because I'm very curious. But yeah, overall, Disturbed is just, in hindsight, they're a great band, but I think the reason why they fell a little bit is because they didn't really. I don't know. I think they just kind of found a sound, and they're just like, we're gonna stay with this sound, and we're not gonna change it all. Kind of like AC/DC. It works for AC/DC, but the difference between Disturbed and AC/DC is that AC/DC kind of Disturb. The thing with Disturb is a lot of their albums they don't have a lot of tracks except for Hell. Hell's like has a bizarre amount of tracks, but this one they I don't know. There's just something about Disturbed songs and the way they progressed over time. They started to not quite. I'm not saying not be. They have an established sound. They stick with it, but they don't. They're not like Avenged Sevenfold. You see, Avenged Sevenfold, they'll take a track and just have it all be piano, or they'll just have it all be orchestra, or they'll do this crazy thing or that crazy thing. They'll be very experimental. They wouldn't settle on a sound. Kiss was kind of like that, but not necessarily with songs specifically, but with albums to a degree, give or take a little era of stuff. But yeah, Disturbed. The early ones were a lot. You can see the evolution of the early ones, and then they got to like the Indestructible, and the Asylum. Asylum kind of made things a little bit more darker, kinda, to a degree. A little bit. Sorry about that. A little bit darker to a degree, but really when they got to like, I have to listen to Believe still. Not is it Believe? Yeah, Believe, yeah. But really, 10,000 Fists kind of, from what I listened to, that's when they started to be a little bit more, mix a little more pop with the rock kind of deal. It's a similar progression to Avenged Sevenfold, actually, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, But once they evolved to that point, they kind of like went back to harder, and they kind of stayed there. From what I know, I haven't listened to their newest stuff, and that goes for a lot of bands. I just lost track of everybody. It was hard. It's hard to keep track of rock bands, especially from the 2000s, because nobody talks about them really. I don't know anybody who talks about them. I don't see them on any social media site. I don't see them anywhere. I mean, I don't hear many people talking about the fact that Vince Stumple made a new album like years ago, and I don't hear anyone talk about that. I don't hear people talk about anything from anyone. And it's kind of sad because I remember when I was in high school and these bands were everywhere. It felt like rock was rock, you know? It was, but now they kind of bullied it to underground status, and it's a shame. But yeah, that's all I have to say. This is a great album. I definitely recommend giving it a listen. You can find it on YouTube or whatever. It's tempting to get vinyl, but sorry about that. But I get the CD. I'm going to end it here. But yeah, this is a great album. Check it out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with me, Mike, or anyone else at the Campy Company, you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. The first one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a discussion tab on our channel as well. You can access that through a PC or laptop computer. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.